Welcome back to In Search of Tontonteac. This week, however, we are in search of Quivira. The land of Quivira is most commonly associated with modern-day Kansas or Nebraska. This is the map in which most modern-day researcher believes depicts Coronado's journey. This theory has never felt accurate. On most maps that I come across from the 1500 or the 1600 traditionally place Quivira on the west coast. In John Ogilby's book on America, in the chapter associated with Quivira, he specifically states that Quivira takes up most northern and unknown part of America towards the west, reaching as far as the Strait of Anian. Then he continues, or else joining to the continent of Tartary. The natives are few and savage, living in hordes or great companies together after the manner of the Tartars, to whom they are neighbors and as it is not improbably thought of their race. In a source from 1856 Reports of Explorations and Surveys, Volume 3, states, Francisco Vasquez went to Tequex, which standers on the bank of a big river. There they had knew of Axa and Quivira, where it was said was a king, whose name was Tartarax, which a long beard, hoary-headed and rich, which was girded with a bracamart. Later it continues, at length they came to Quivira and found Tartarax, who they sought, a hoary-headed man, naked and with a jewel of copper hanging at his neck, which was all his riches. Also this report offers a little more. Quivira is in 40 degrees. It is a temperate country and hath very good waters and much grass, plums, mulberries, nuts, melons, and grapes which ripen very well. In the Nova Totius Orbis, Geographica, Assi Hydrographica Tabula by Peter van den Kere, has a little paragraph next to the Quivira Regnum, in which it says, the natives of these regions live in groups in tents, in the manner of the Tartars having no cities. The 1587 Urbano Montes world map depicts more information regarding the Tartars, suggesting that they dwell in the countryside in the manner of the Tartars. However, this region is off to the side of the Quivira Regnum. George Parker Winship, in his book called The Coronado's Expedition, 1540 to 1542, suggests that Quivira was different than what these maps depict. Coronado and his companion horsemen followed the compass needle for 42 days after leaving the main force, or, as he writes, after traveling across these deserts for 77 days in all, they reached the country of Quivira. Here he found some people who lived in permanent settlements and raised a little corn, but whose sustenance came mainly from the buffalo herds, which they hunted at regular seasons instead of continuously as the Plains Indians encountered previously had done. From Coronado's own interpretation, he is stating that Quivira had permanent residences. In Peter Helland's book, Cosmography in 4 books, he states, of the maritime province of Quivira, do receive from Cathay or China, with which they are supposed to traffic. From these books and maps, we are starting to piece together the proper location of Quivira, which would be around the 40-degree latitude, and it should be close to a coastline in order to be a maritime province. However, every map seems to depict Quivira in different location. In some regards, it is depicted in modern-day Nevada. Others seem to show it north of San Francisco. Regardless, it is not in Kansas. This is starting to have an Asian influence to some degree. But Tartars in America? Well, wait a minute. What is this? In a book called A Letter to Edmund Burke by Josiah Tucker, states, thanks to you, sir, for these kind and prophetic declarations. The description alone is sufficient, without staying to put the matter to an actual trial. And if after this, we will preserve her in retaining governors and sound sellers, collectors, and comptrollers in such a country on any account or under any modification whatever, we deserve to sugar all that you have predicted. For indeed, whether the colony was placed in Ahatic or in American Tartary, The folly and absurdity of pretending to govern such a colony and to make it subservient to the purpose of the British commerce would be just the same. Nara oppose it, as you justly observe, and nature will be obeyed. Is there more to this story? Obviously. Stay tuned. Next week we will continue on this Quivira path.